What if your soul purpose has never been hidden, only split between two languages, your life path number and your birth chart? You may already know your sun sign, maybe your moon, maybe even your life path number. But still, there are nights when you ask yourself the same quiet question. What am I actually here to do? I see this so often. You collect symbols, you learn the meanings, you recognize yourself in pieces. And yet your purpose can still feel just out of reach, like fog moving when you try to hold it. That does not mean you are lost. It usually means you have been reading only half the map. Here is the heart of it. Numerology tells me about the lesson your soul came here to master. Astrology shows me the energetic blueprint through which that lesson lives, breathes, struggles, and expresses itself. One speaks to the curriculum, the other speaks to the instrument. Your life path number says, this is the road. Your chart says, this is the weather, the terrain, the body, the timing, the way you walk it. And that is why neither system on its own gives you the whole map. One reveals meaning, the other reveals movement. And when you read both together, something beautiful happens. Your mission becomes clearer, your expression becomes more personal, and your friction starts making sense. Not as failure, as design. The places where you feel pulled in two directions are often the exact places where your purpose is asking to wake up. So I want to give you a framework you can actually carry with you. Simple enough to remember, deep enough to trust. Because once you see this, you stop asking, which system is right? And you start asking a better question. What are they revealing together? Think of it this way. Your life path is the backbone. Your key placements are the voice and movement. Your chart tensions are the resistance that builds strength. Lesson, expression, friction. If you can hold those three words, you can start reading your purpose with far more clarity than most people ever do. And this matters because purpose confusion is rarely random. It is usually a sign that one part of you is speaking and another part is being ignored. If you only read your number, you may understand your lesson, but not your style. If you only read your chart, you may understand your temperament, but not the deeper thread your soul keeps returning to. That gap can feel lonely, like knowing yourself, but not knowing why you are here. So let us begin with the backbone. Your life path number is where the soul purpose framework starts. Your life path number is not a personality box. It is not a sentence. It is a developmental path. A lesson your soul keeps circling until it becomes lived wisdom. A life path 1 is not just independent. It is learning right relationship with self-leadership. A 2 is learning sacred cooperation. A 4 is learning devotion through structure. A 9 is learning how to release, serve, and widen the heart. These are not labels, they are living assignments. To make this easier to remember, I like to group the numbers into purpose archetypes, not just isolated meanings. Builders like 1, 4, and 8 learn creation, leadership, and responsibility in the material world. Nurturers like 2 and 6 learn connection, care, and emotional stewardship. Seekers like 5 and 7 learn truth through freedom, experience, and inner inquiry. Transformers, especially 9, learn completion, compassion, and alchemy through endings. And visionaries, including master numbers like 11, 22, and 33, often carry an amplified calling to transmit something larger than the personal self. Now we shift from what your soul came to learn to how that lesson actually lives through you. If numerology tells me what your soul is learning, astrology tells me how that lesson moves through you. Your sun shows identity and vitality. Your moon shows emotional needs and the inner climate that must feel safe for your gifts to open. Your rising shows the way life meets you and the style through which you begin your path. These are not random traits. They are living channels for the same soul lesson. Then there are the deeper markers, the placements that add direction, visibility, and a sense of contribution. Your North Node points toward evolutionary direction. It shows where growth asks you to stretch beyond habit, beyond old comfort, beyond inherited instinct. Your Midheaven points toward contribution, not just career in the shallow sense, but the kind of visible offering your life may be shaping toward. When I look at purpose, I never stop at one placement. I ask, where is the soul being invited, and where is it being seen? And this is where it starts to click. The systems are not competing. They are completing each other. Your life path reveals the lesson. Your astrology reveals the style, the challenge, and the arena. The lesson might be leadership. The style might be gentle, artistic, watery, or fierce and strategic. The challenge might be self-doubt, fear of visibility, or emotional overwhelm. The arena might be healing, teaching, art, community, business, or spiritual guidance. Same soul lesson, different expression. So let me show you what this looks like in real combinations, because examples make the pattern easier to feel in your own life. Imagine a life path 1 with strong Pisces energy. The soul lesson is leadership, initiation, learning to trust your own direction. But Pisces softens the delivery. This person may not lead by force. They may lead through intuition, compassion, imagination, or spiritual vision. The tension is obvious. A 1 says, stand alone. Pisces says, merge, feel, dissolve boundaries. So the unlock is learning that leadership does not have to be loud. It can be deeply receptive. It can guide by sensing what others miss. And when the systems seem to contradict each other, pay attention. That contrast is often the clue. Now take a life path 6 with Capricorn emphasis. Here, the soul lesson revolves around care, responsibility, beauty, and stewardship. Capricorn adds structure, discipline, maturity, and long-term building. This is someone whose purpose may involve holding others through systems, standards, and reliable support. They may be the one who creates the container, the clinic, the practice, the home, the business, the schedule that allows healing to happen. The tension is over responsibility, feeling that love must be earned through competence. The growth is learning that service becomes sacred when it includes the self. Now let us move into a combination that feels more intense, more private, and often more transformational. Then there is a combination like Life Path 7 with Scorpio, or strong 8th house themes. This one goes deep. The soul lesson is truth, wisdom, inner mastery, and sacred solitude. Scorpio intensifies everything. It wants depth, honesty, transformation, and contact with what is hidden. So this person may feel called towards psychology, mysticism, trauma healing, research, shadow work, or the mysteries of life and death. The tension can be isolation, secrecy, mistrust, or emotional intensity so strong it becomes a wall. The unlock is realizing that your depth is not a burden. It is medicine when shared with discernment. And from there, we move into something more future-facing, collective, and visionary. And then imagine a life path 9 with Aquarius or 11th house emphasis. The soul lesson is compassion, release, service, and a widening sense of humanity. Aquarius brings innovation, objectivity, future vision, and connection to groups, networks, and collective change. This person may feel most alive when contributing to something larger than the self, a movement, a community, a message, a technology, a social vision. The friction is detachment, caring for humanity while struggling with closeness in personal life. The growth is learning to embody the future you believe in, not just imagine it. And I want to pause here because purpose is not always a job title. It is often much bigger, softer, and more alive than that. Sometimes purpose is a way of being that follows you into many forms. The teacher may teach in a classroom, on a stage, in a clinic, at a dinner table, or through art. The healer may heal through words, systems, touch, design, or presence. Purpose is often resonance before it becomes a resume. So if you have ever felt like you do not fully match your sign or your number, this next part is for you. That mismatch may be the clue. Your contradictions are often sacred. They show the distance between the lesson and the current expression. They show where your soul is stretching. A bold life path with a sensitive chart. A nurturing number with rebellious placements. A visionary chart with a grounding lesson. None of that is wrong. It is the architecture of your becoming. If you want to read yourself more clearly, start with 4 questions. First, what lesson keeps repeating in your life? Leadership, trust, service, freedom, discipline, compassion, truth. That points toward your life path theme. Second, how do you naturally express energy? Through emotion, ideas, action, structure, beauty, healing, vision? That is where your chart begins speaking. Third, what qualities repeat across both systems? Maybe both your number and chart point to service, or depth, or communication. Repetition is rarely accidental. Fourth, where is the tension? Because your friction often reveals the doorway to embodiment. If this kind of reading is helping something click inside you, stay with me for one more moment. And there is one more layer that makes this reading truly yours. Every number, every placement has an aligned expression and a shadow expression. A life path 8 aligned is empowered stewardship. In shadow, it is control. A north node in Pisces aligned is deep compassion. In shadow, it is self-abandonment. Your purpose is not just what you do. It is the expression of those energies at their highest. When you feel stuck, you are usually living the shadow side of a gift you have not yet claimed. So before I let you go, I want to leave you with something softer. Less framework, more feeling. Because your purpose is a living thing. Your purpose is not a single role you must perfectly perform. It is a pattern of becoming. A rhythm. A sacred repetition. Something your soul practices through choices, relationships, seasons, and courage. You do not have to solve your life in one moment. You only have to become more honest about the lesson, the style, and the friction that keeps shaping you. If something in this reading felt close to home, I want to keep walking with you. Subscribe so these deeper-than-surface readings come to you each week. And visit controlmyfate.com if you want to go even further, with your full personalized purpose reading built from your exact chart and your life path. Your soul knows what it came here to do. Sometimes it just needs help translating. Thank you for spending this time with me. Keep listening to the symbols. Keep noticing what repeats. Keep honoring what feels true in your body. Your path may be layered, but it is not random. And the more gently you study it, the more clearly it begins to answer back.